And welcome to Hannity. All right, tonight we have breaking news on numerous big stories. New York Governor Cuomo in big trouble after a bombshell new report revealed that Cuomo attempted to cover up the nursing home death toll related to his disastrous COVID-19 policy. Some are now calling for Cuomo to be prosecuted for obstruction. Even have fake news, CNN's fake Jake Tapper. He's actually covering the scandal, tweeting today, "The story keeps getting worse for Andrew Cuomo." We're going to update you with more on this developing story tonight. And we'll have the very latest from the multiple scandals now rocking the anti-Trump Lincoln Project. Now in complete meltdown mode, Meghan McCain, wow, unleashed brutal tweets tonight. One of their co-founders, Steve Schmidt, just resigned in disgrace. But first, the Democrats snap impeachment charade sham. It just faced its day of reckoning. Finally, the president's legal defense team, they completely eviscerated all of the Democrats' paper-thin arguments, all of which were, as we told you, unconstitutional, none of which meet any real legal standard that would ever hold up in any court. No rules of evidence mattered in any way, shape, manner, or form. And then add to that their editing, their slicing, their dicing, and then purposely ignoring all damaging exculpatory evidence, and presided over by a judge who already declared Trump guilty. Wow, this is the United States of America. That's a kangaroo court. The House managers, they were eviscerated on their argument over incitement, their favorite word, insurrection. They were eviscerated on their argument on the Constitution. The president's defense team exposed the managers' manufactured evidence, their selective editing. They also exposed the Democrats' rampant hypocrisy. It was a humiliating, total, complete beatdown. Now, the defense team started the day by showing how the impeachment managers actually had to manipulate and did manipulate the president's January 6 remarks. Watch for yourself.
We're going to walk down, and I'll be there with you. We're going to walk down. We're going to walk down to the Capitol. But I think right here, we're going to walk down to the Capitol. And we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women. And we're probably not going to be cheering so much for some of them, because you'll never take back our country with weakness. You have to show strength, and you have to be strong. We have come to demand that Congress do the right thing and only count the electors who have been lawfully slated. Lawfully slated. I know that everyone here will soon be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard.
Now, as you could see, not only did the Democrats selectively edit the president's speech, they also manipulated key evidence, pieces of evidence, and they frequently relied on, guess what? Well, their best friends, sketchy news reports and rumor to make their case. That would never fly in any court of law. Take a look.
According to those around him at the time, reportedly responded.
Trump reportedly
reports across all major media outlets.
Major news networks, including Fox News, reportedly summoned. Reportedly not accidental. According to reports, President Trump was reportedly spoke to the guard.
And was widely reported.
Media reports?
According to reports, reportedly.
Now, this is why, as Jonathan Turley warned the country, you do not do snap impeachments. This is why you actually need real time that you got to take so you can gather real evidence, so you can conduct thorough investigations. You can allow due process and even, the thought of it, allow for a defense. Now the Democrats' case rests on two incredibly flawed and extremely weak arguments. Now, the first, that the president said, "Fight like hell." And those words are unacceptable, and they incited an insurrection on January 6th from the president's rally. But as the president's lawyers rightly pointed out today, in what became a 10-minute straight montage showing Democrats themselves frequently using this phrase, fight like hell or fight, 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 in front of their own supporters. Hypocrisy on display. Take a look.
We can whine or we can fight back. Me, I'm here to fight back. I'm here to fight back.
But we are going to make sure that this fight does not end tonight.
This is a fight for our lives.
I will fight like hell to fight back against anyone.
We need to say loud and clear that we are ready to fight.
It's a bare knuckles fight.
Now they're going to have to actually fight back.
We will fight back. We're not going to just take this lying down.
I'm just going to keep the fight up.
What we have to do right now is fight as hard as we can.
We have to rise up and fight back.
Continue to fight.
Fight. This is going to be a fight.
We'll also fight him and challenge him in every way that we can.
This is what is our fight right now.
There's the fight, there's the fight, there's the fight, and then there's the fight to defend.
And we just have to fight. But this is a fight for our country.
So based on the Democrats' definition, all of them were inciting insurrection. If that's what you believe, every Democrat would be guilty by their own standard. What is their standard? And what about their violent rhetoric? Does it count as incitement to insurrection? As always, on this show, we'll let you decide. Take a look.
Know why there aren't uprisings all over the country, and maybe there will be.
There needs to be unrest in the streets for as long as there's unrest in our lives.
You got to be ready to throw a punch. You have to be ready to throw a punch.
Donald Trump, I think you need to go back and punch him in the face.
That I thought he should have punched him in the face.
Feel like punching him.
I'd like to take him behind the gym if I were in high school. If we were in high school, I'd take him behind the gym and beat the hell out of him. No, I wish we were in high school. I could take him behind the gym.
I will go and take Trump out tonight.
Take him out now.
Okay. When was the last time an actor assassinated a president?
They're still going to have to go out and put a bullet in Donald Trump.
I have thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House.
Please get up in the face of some Congress people.
People will do what they do.
I want to tell you, Gorsuch, I want to tell you, Kavanaugh, you have released the whirlwind, and you will pay the price.
You will pay the price. Okay, as you all know now, it wasn't just Democrats spewing violent rhetoric, but also, yep, their pals, their allies, their press offices, and the media mob. 2019, the Washington Post, Jennifer Rubin calling the Republican Party, calling for it to be burned to the ground. Quote, we have to level them because if there are survivors, if there are people who weather this storm, they will do it again. After years of this type of rhetoric, there was a wave of far-left political violence. We all watched it with sadness and horror all summer. Most Democrats, the media, completely silent, in complete denial. The silence was deafening. The lack and discounting reality right before their very eyes. 1 year of riots, the Democrats, the media mob. Oh, now finally, they're telling you they care about rioting. Well, we should all condemn, this shouldn't be political, all these riots, any violence, wherever it takes place. And yes, every conservative condemned what happened at the Capitol. In fact, in many cases, Democrats actually encouraging this summer's riots. Watch for yourself.
They're not going to stop. And everyone beware.
This is just a snapshot of some of the damage that people will be waking up to.
Going up, but police clearly.
I'm proud of New York, and I'm proud of the protests.
There is damage everywhere you look. Honestly, it looks like a war zone.
Heartwarming to see so many people turn out peacefully.
They keep doing it day after day after day. In fact, our country is a nation of protests. The Patriots were protesters.
St. John's Church is on fire.
Do you disavow the violence from Antifa?
That's a myth.
I hope someone burns down your whole precinct with all y'all inside.
It is not, generally speaking, unruly.
And this summer, the Vice President of the United States, Kamala Harris, even promoted that bail fund for rioters arrested so they can get back out and join their friends again, I guess. Could you imagine if President Trump ever did this? Senator Lindsey Graham, he raised this very question. It's a powerful one earlier today. Take a look.
Does a politician raising bail for rioters encourage more rioting?
Council has 5 minutes.
Yes.
If Donald Trump incited violence and insurrection, then so did pretty much every Democrat in this country, especially Vice President Harris. And if the Democratic managers, if they applied their same standard to Kamala Harris and other Democrats, they should all be impeached and they should all be tried, including Joe Biden, the guy that wants to take Trump to the back of the gym, then president, and beat the hell out of the president of the United States. Is that not incitement to insurrection? Now, so are their claims about the president's rhetoric. The same thing. Now, they want you to believe that his statements about election irregularities and voter fraud, that it caused the violence on January 6th. You know, when he said many of you will march to the Capitol peacefully and patriotically so your voices can be heard. But if that's the case, well, these Democrats, are they going to be impeached? Are we going to put them, John Thune, Senator Thune, you want to put them on trial? Should they be censored too? Take a look.
If Stacey Abrams doesn't win in Georgia, they stole it. It's clear. It's clear. And I say that publicly. It's clear.
You can run the best campaign. You can even become the nominee. And you can have the election stolen from you.
He knows he's an illegitimate president. He knows that there were a bunch of different reasons why the election turned out the way it did.
Votes remain to be counted. There are voices that were waiting to be heard.
And I will not concede.
And I respect where you're coming from, and I respect the issues that you're raising. You're not answering the question. Do you think it was... You're not using the word legitimate.
There are still legitimate concerns over the integrity of our elections and of ensuring the principle of one person, one vote.
Today's presentation was so compelling, so damning, that Democrats were then forced to turn to their favorite smear. They accused the president's legal team of racism and sexism. Yep, take a look.
The defense counsels put a lot of videos out in their defense, playing clip after clip of black women talking about fighting for a cause or an issue or a policy. It was not lost on me as so many of them were people of color and women, and black women like myself, who are sick and tired of being sick and tired for our children. This summer, things happened that were violent. But there were also things that gave some of us black women great comfort.
Often when Democrats turn to identity politics, it kind of means they lost the argument. Earlier today, here is what Senator Ron Johnson had to say. Take a look.
I think the president's lawyers blew the House manager case out of the water. They legally eviscerated them. I think their arguments, they showed the distortions of the tweets, the selective editing, showed the reason why due process is important. And they certainly proved that the First Amendment applies to political speech probably more than anything. So again, I think the president's lawyers just blew the House manager case out of the water.
And as you can imagine, the media, the mob, was not taking today's evisceration very well. In fact, they were so upset by the facts of the case, amid a multitude of complaints, they decided to even attack yours truly. How did my name get brought up in this little event?
While titillating and surely satisfying to viewers of right-wing media, none of it defended the tragic consequence of Donald Trump's speech.
I hope and trust you've never used the word fight in a live report, as you will be part of the afternoon montage.
This presentation was very partisan. It was a Sean Hannity mixtape at times.
Almost literally.
What we saw, to me, was, a preview of Hannity tonight, and it really did seem to be trying to just make this as much of a partisan process as possible.
Those long video clips, so many of them we've seen on Hannity and other shows on Fox.
And the video presentation, gratuitous, over the top, repetitive, about Democrats using the word fight. What was that meant to do? Number one, make the client happy.
The truth that they won't tell. Their audiences today, probably many of them, seeing their own words in the media and the Democrats. Oh, incitement to insurrection. That's why this program is independent. This is why we don't rush to judgment. It's why we conduct our own investigations and we provide important context. That's why we got it right and they got it wrong on the Russia hoax, the Duke lacrosse case, UVA, Kavanaugh, Ferguson, Cambridge police, Baltimore, the Covington High School kids. The media mob got it wrong again and again. They rush to judgment, they get it wrong. They do it every day. Every time we were right, they were wrong, every single time. And that's the same going for this snap impeachment. Ultimately, this comes down to three facts. One, the Senate has no jurisdiction over a private U.S. citizen and cannot remove President Trump from an office he does not hold. Two, according to the FBI, the DOJ, court documents, AOC, and even the fake news media outlets, the attack on January 6th was pre-planned. The president's remarks, therefore, did not incite an insurrection that was planned ahead of time. Now, did a small percentage, maybe 1%, of rally attendees sadly participate? Yep. And they will all be held accountable. And three, if the words like fight like hell and election challenges are now grounds for impeachment, then the Democratic Party is in a lot of trouble. Now, soon the snap impeachment shift show charade will be over. The president will be acquitted, as he should be. And in the coming months, Democrats will be forced to answer for their own conduct. In the height of a pandemic, millions out of work, millions more suffering, Democrats chose a political show trial as their number one priority. In the midterms, I hope you remember that. You now need to know this as well. To quote Raskin and Swalwell and Warren and pretty much every other Democrat, and Schumer and Joe and Kamala and Pelosi, yeah, fight like hell. And as for the Republican senators, like Senator John Thune, reportedly open to continuing this charade with a censure of the former president, any Republican that votes to keep validating and legitimizing this madness while never, ever, John Thune, having the courage to ever apply these exact same standards to your colleagues on the Democratic side, you would need to be primaried. And when did John Thune ever lift a finger to help expose the Russia collusion hoax? I don't remember. Anyway, any Republican, if you're going to apply these standards, any more of this to Donald Trump, apply it to Joe, Kamala, Chuck, Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi, and every other insurrectionist, violence-inciting Democrat.